Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlotte. This is Charlotteshelves. I have been on a book buying ban for the entire month of January. I'm hoping to make it to 6 months, depending on how much of my TBR I work through. The aim has been to work through my physical books as much as possible. And the sooner I do that, the sooner I can then go back and shop for books. No, I'm kidding. The whole aim of this project has been to readjust my spending habits around books. Books are one of the few loopholes I have when it comes to spending. I made an entirely separate video talking about my whys for this and also my goals and aspirations for this project. And I'll put a link for that just on the screen or in the bio. And this first month has been enlightening, and it has made me learn so much about my spending habits, which might sound really boring, but I didn't realise how bad my book shopping problem was. And it's not even the amount of money I spend, it is the impulsivity that I have around buying books. So every day this month I have filmed, or nearly every day, or any time I have felt an impulse to buy a book, I have filmed that feeling. Good evening. It is the first day in my book buying ban that I have felt really tested. It is Friday the 9th. I went into town today to run some errands and I decided to just pop in to the works. I saw in there Lucy Foley's Midnight Feast, and I really like, she's a thriller writer in case you didn't know, and I really like her thrillers. And this one had a really nice dark blue kind of cover but with matching sprayed edges. Oh, it looked so nice. I think it was only like £4 or £5. I didn't buy it. I was good. I then went to the library, which should be a safe zone for not purchasing books, but they were having a big sale and they had this massive cart out the front. And I had a look at, I don't know why, but they had 2 books that I really wanted and one I didn't even really need. So there was a copy of Christine by Stephen King, and I read it last year, and my copy is a very 80s. It's small, the margins are packed, and it wasn't that lovely to read as an experience because the font was so small and my eyesight is so poor. And I saw this copy, which was like an edition that was out in the last 5 or 6 years. Really nice, a font good size, nice margins, like a much thicker, chunkier, just a more reading friendly copy. And I thought I would love to buy that to replace Christine, the version that I have. And then I thought, it's still buying a book though that you don't need. You even have a copy of it. This is a want, not a need. So I put it down, and then I saw a copy in really good condition of World War Z, and my copy got mulched and I had to chuck it. It was such a nice version of it. I do have a copy of World War Z on Kindle, but I would love to own a physical copy. And I nearly picked this up and brought it home again. It was only a couple of quid because the library was discharging it. But again, it was a want, not a need. Like, do I want to read it on paperback anytime soon? No. So I let it go, and I'm still thinking about it a little bit because I was kind of excusing it in my head, buying it, because it's not one that's going to go sit on my TBR. It would be one that could go straight to shelf because I keep my TBR separate from my bookcase, like books I've read. And it was a really nice edition, but what I said to myself was, that's a book that you see very commonly in charity shops and Oxfam books and secondhand places. It's quite common, so I knew that I would have another opportunity to buy it, probably quite cheaply again, and I didn't come home with it. So that's the first day I've been tempted. Good afternoon, it is Sunday the 11th. I am editing a video at the moment, so you're just propped on my desk. I had just had a strong impulse to buy a book, so I thought I would just quickly hop on. I was watching a YouTube video of just like a lifestyle vlogger, and I could see some books on her bedside table. So like I often do in videos, I stop listening to what they're saying and I start reading the spines, and I could see she had a book that I had owned and not finished, and it's a cooking book called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and it's like a textbook almost size volume. Gorgeous book, gorgeous illustrations, and it's meant to give you a lot of the core fundamental principles of how to cook. I had been given this book years ago and I hadn't finished it. I'd read like a third of it, and it would always make me really hungry. So I'd always want to read it when I was having lunch or dinner, because she writes in a really evocative, it's so yummy and visceral the way that she writes. So it meant that I wasn't picking this book up very often. Massive as well, like it's quite, it's not one you can easily sit up and read in bed. And my brain was like, oh, we didn't finish that, and I'd love to read it again. Maybe I'll just buy a copy. And I started looking on eBay. I was at my desk, I just started looking on eBay for a second-hand copy, and I stopped myself and I went, no. There's a reason you gave it away, because you owned it for a good couple of years and didn't read it. I don't know why in that moment I was feeling that impulse to replace it, and I think it's because I wanted to read it to finish it, because I love completing things in that sense. I very rarely DNF a book. Then I thought, well, because it's so big, what if I just got a copy on Kindle? And then that way it's so much easier to read as well. Maybe the issue was the format of it. It was a big, heavy hardback, it was clunky. Maybe if I got it on Kindle, then it's more accessible, it's easier. And then I had to say to myself, you've been having this whole thought process the whole time you've been sat here. You've now paused the YouTube video that you were watching and just enjoying the content of, thinking about how to acquire this book that I know you are not going to read. And what I said to myself was, I will start a notes app where I record all the books I want to buy in the next 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, I will see how many of them I actually want to still purchase. So I'm going to sit on them and see how I feel. I do not feel a compulsion now to go buy or read that book. Like I'm happy to be reminded that it exists. I might go and put it on my story graph. That pull has now gone. And it's so powerful in that moment when you want to grab that book or go get it, or you find that. And I'm really trying to work on that impulsivity. Good morning. It is Thursday, the 15th of January, and I have a little update for you. I was tempted to buy a book. I didn't even look to see if it was available yet, but a YouTuber who I really love called Paula Merrill. She has released her own first book, and it's, I think, children's YA, but kind of also suitable for adults. It's... Hi! We'll go out in a minute. Hang on. I put the dog out because he is being really boisterous. Where was I? One of my favourite YouTubers. Her work is kind of to do with the natural world. She makes beautiful nature vlogs and documents a lot of the American mountains and countryside and national parks and things like that. So it's her first proper book. I didn't even go on the website to see if it's available. She kind of did a video talking about it, and she does her own illustrations as well. She's an artist too. And it looks beautiful, and she's got these gorgeous hardback copies. Didn't even click the link in her video description or her website. I didn't go have a look, because normally I'd go, oh look, or maybe I'll go pre-order it. I think it's children's YA, but then she said it's like one of those that's kind of suitable for adults. She identifies as a highly sensitive person, and her writing style is quite emotive. I read a non-fiction work of hers last year, and she has always spoken for years on her channel about wanting to publish her first children's book. So I was really kind of excited for her and to see what she creates, and also because I know that she would have put so much love into it, all her sort of artistic projects. So I'm not going to buy it, I'm going to wait and see. So we are halfway through the month without buying anything. So that's 2 weeks without buying books, which to some people might seem utterly ridiculous, but to me that is a feat. So I'm going to try and see if I can get to the end of the month without temptation. Good morning. It is Friday the 16th of January. I had a small temptation, so I thought I would share it with you. I was clearing out my inbox and I found some emails from, I think, earlier in the month from 66 Books. 66 Books is a warehouse that is normally just like selling books throughout the year to schools and other institutions and bookshops. Like, it's a big old book warehouse, but a handful of weekends throughout the year they let members of the public come on the weekend to shop their books. And the reason this is an incredible experience is because they sell them at trade prices and with special discounts, and the books range from 50% to 75% off. I had signed up to their emailing list because you sign up to be a member, and that means you can get the trade discount on those special weekends when you go visit. And my friend and I went in February, March time last year, and it was fucking phenomenal. It was like mecca for books. I think I came out with 20 books or something silly. I bought so many. But they were just emailing to say we've got these weekends on again. And so I was thinking, I just went, oh, that'd be nice. And I looked at the dates that they've got on, and they've got a few literally coming up. I looked at my calendar because I'm free those weekends as well. And I said to myself, like, what would you buy though? Because you're on a book buying ban. And then I thought to myself, could I go to 66 Books and just browse? And I was like, no, that's like, it just can't be done. And I thought if I went and couldn't buy anything, I might actually feel quite bad. Like if I could go and not buy anything, and that sounds silly, but if I went to like the most incredible bookshop in the world and couldn't come away with at least something, I don't know what my impulse control would be, because then I'd also feel awful if I went and I bought like another 20 books. That would be terrible. But there was just no reason for me to go. There isn't. Like I said, my TBR is still, it's now in the 40s. I've read 3 books that were on it. So I just want to work through that. And maybe later in the year, if I finish my TBR, because they have the dates scattered throughout the year, maybe then I could go back and that could be my reward, not to go and just buy another 20 books. So I just thought I would let you know that was something that had been tempting me a little bit. I haven't acted on it. I haven't texted my best friend and be like, let's go. I just thought I would be transparent about any time that I get a little scratch or a little temptation. And hopefully when I look back at these at the end of the month, I'll be able to see what kind of things are like triggers or things that make me want to spend my money on books. Good evening. It is Saturday the 17th of January. It's quite late. This lighting is horrendous, do forgive me. I had 2 books that I didn't purchase them, but my brain did that same pattern of like, oh, I want those. And I'm watching a new to me YouTuber. I think Paperback Journeys are, put their account just here or somewhere, Editing Charlotte. And they were talking, the 2 videos of theirs I watched one was their top 10 most mindfuck books they've ever read. And the other one was books that feel like Stranger Things. And I've just finished season 5 of Stranger Things. So I was like, oh, I fancy watching this. But there were 2 recommendations. Oh, I fancy reading those. One is a horror/sci-fi novella called Annihilation. That's been on my radar for a while, and it was also made into a movie adaptation I think on Netflix, like I want to say like 5+ years ago. And the Netflix adaptation, I didn't love it, but there was something very unsettling about it. I remember it having such a darker tone because I went in thinking it was a sci-fi anyway, and I've heard the book is just as creepy. And then the other book was called Saturday Night Ghost Club, I think. I'll put a picture just so I've got the title correct. But that was one that's also been on my radar a while. And I thought, oh, I'll see if do I own that on Kindle? I was like, don't even look, like don't get tempted, don't go on Kindle Store or anything like that. Just go on Storygraph, log it to your books you want to read because your interest has now been piqued. But I'm also not at a place right now where I can read a lot of horror and thriller anyway, so I don't even know what I was thinking getting excited about those. I looked at the trigger warnings for the second book as well, and it had a few things that I think would be a bit much for me right now. If you've read either of these, do let me know, without spoilers, if they were particularly creepy or scary or a particular kind of way, just because I'm trying to be gentle with what I read at the moment. But I did not expect to have an update for you so soon. And what I'm learning about this ban so far is how much I enjoy obviously consuming book related content, but also how that feeds into how much I want to acquire books too. Like, it's not enough for me to just watch reviews or vlogs or bookish content. I really am influenced by some of these people, so now I'm thinking, do I cut back on the booktube content I watch, or do I just learn to manage my impulses a little bit better? We shall see. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday the 21st. I meant to film a little update for you yesterday, but I was not feeling very well. I went back to the library to return some books, and I wasn't even tempted by the cart. So where they've got books for sale, it's literally as you walk in, so you have to walk past it on your way in and then past it on your way out. And I was not tempted. I did have just sort of a look, just like a cursory, like sort of almost out of habit, and didn't feel that pull, so that was really nice. So we are 21 days through the month and I'm feeling good, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I can't remember if I've said this already, so please excuse my frazzled brain, but I'm also really loving looking at my current bedside TBR situation and just seeing books that are safe for me to read at the moment, especially with like my mental health being what it is, it's so nice to just go, all of those are safe for me to read right now, and they're all books that are, touch wood, not going to trigger me, and that's a really nice place to be. I didn't realise, perhaps even just holding on to or seeing some of the books that I knew were graphic subject matter, just letting them go, a lot of them, that's been a source of peace actually that I wasn't expecting to find. So that's another nice outcome of this. Hopefully you won't see me in a few days because I'm being good and I won't have any other updates. I've got my first book club towards the end of the month as well, and it's being held in a book shop, which I will update you after on how that goes. I don't know if the shop will actually be open to shop in after it or during it as such. I think it's just being used as a venue. Good afternoon, it is the 22nd and it's Thursday. I'm just packing my bag because I'm heading out. Feeling anxious because I'm going to the dentist, but the town that I'm going to, which is why I'm updating you, is where my favourite bookshop is. But I was voice noting my best friend earlier because this is how ridiculous my book buying is, and I was saying to her, I'm not even going to go in. I've got to walk past it to go through town. I'm going to be good. I'm not even going to go into it because I feel like if I do go in, I'm just going to end up buying stuff. I'm going to be like, this is a gift for someone, or like, this is how bad my book buying and impulsivity is really. Like, I can't even go into a bookshop because there have been so many times where I've said to myself, we're not going to play something, we're just having a browse, because we love to browse, but we also love to flip and spend money on books too, apparently. So I will update you maybe afterwards. I do need to get some stationery bits, but I would not get them in the bookshop, so that's, I'm not going to trip and fall into the bookshop, hopefully. I also think I've recorded this, I've held myself accountable, and hopefully next time you see me, I might be back at home and I have not spent any money or broken this book bag. Oh, what is going on in my hair today? Wish me luck. Good evening, excuse the state of me, my word. I have been having a deep clean of my bookshelves, dry cleaning every book individually. It's been an evening. But I had a book temptation and I just wanted to quickly, oh my word, just wanted to quickly hop on and tell you about it. Sorry, I dropped you. I was watching, what is he called? Books for the Back Porch. He's a new to me YouTuber. And one of the books on there was a Paul Tremblay novel that I've wanted to read for ages. And his review of it was so good. Like, the way he described it was so enticing. Like, I really just wanted to grab a copy of it or just download it on Kindle or something. And it is The Cabin at the Edge of the World. Is that what it is? The Cabin in... I've seen the M. Night Shyamalan adaptation and I think it's really good. So many like buzzy catchwords, and the way that he described it just made me want to instantly go read it. And I went, oh, that's one I want. And then I went, nope. But the way that this chap has just described the work, it's really tantalised me. And as you know, I'm on a book buying ban, so I'm just going to put it on the list, and maybe in 6 months to a year's time, or if it comes in at my library, maybe I'll get around to reading it. But I've heard it's like a good one, and he's put it on his top 10 all-time horrors, so it is quite late. I joined a book club and it's my first time attending this month, but we talked obviously about books for a good amount of time, and there was one book we nearly picked. I want to read it so bad. It's called, let me double check the name. I think it's called Northwards. I think it's literary fiction. It's told over multiple generations across multiple different character types. I think there's aspects of epistolary fiction. The guy running it showed his copy of it. And it was like fragmented, and there are different chunks and different chapters, and the form of it seemed really unique as well. It wasn't just like a strict novel narrative style. There were little fragments of stories and different characters, and a couple of people had read it already and said it was incredible. Could have bought a copy tonight. It sounded so good. It is the most I've wanted to read a book and buy it. I will put a description of it up on the screen because I'm probably not doing it justice. Honestly, the closest I've come to breaking my ban. I'm not happy. I know this is silly. I know this is why I have a problem. I really want to read that book. Good afternoon. It is the end of the month and I just thought I'd give you a quick update. I have finished editing the video that you have just seen and I had some thoughts, so I wanted to share those with you. So this is what I learnt from my first month on a book buying ban. Number one was how frustrating I found the experience at times. I don't know if that always came across in the clips, but I could see in myself, I was overthinking things. I was overthinking reasons for buying or not buying books. I could see I was frustrated, and I was also frustrated with myself when I was editing the video. I could also see I was having quite an emotional response to banning myself from buying books. As long as I've been alive, I've had a stack of books that I want to read and get through. Regardless of age, I've always bought lots of books, I've always consumed lots of books, and this is honestly the first time in my life that I've put the brakes on that. So it was interesting, although difficult sometimes, to watch myself because I felt I was coming across a little silly. Point number two, I hadn't realised that book buying was also about replacing things. So in 2024, we'd had a really bad mould outbreak in our house, and it affected our furniture, clothing, a lot of our books and things like that, and I had to have a really large purge of my books and get rid of them. And I thought my book buying ban would mostly be about consuming new books, latest reads, books I see in booktube videos, like how I'm influenced, that sort of thing. But actually I even was buying books or wanting to buy books to replace books. I hadn't noticed that about myself, so it's noted. And when I was throwing away my mouldy books in 2024, I photographed all the ones that I was throwing away, and I said to myself, over time I will repurchase those books. But I decided to hang on to that album of photos so that I knew which ones had gone, and then if I saw them in a charity shop again and I could easily buy them, I could do so. But I also don't think when I'm on a book buying ban that I should be buying any kind of books, let alone just repurchasing ones I've already owned. I hope that makes sense. Point number three would be that I know for definite if I hadn't been filming this, I would have broken it, because what you didn't see on camera was just how close sometimes I came to be like, oh, what would it matter if I just, and I thought, but it does matter because you've put it out on the internet as well. I think if I hadn't already put online that I'm having a book buying ban to my 3 viewers on my channel, even that is a modicum of accountability. And especially after I've been to my book group for the first time and I'd come away with so many recommendations, I would have bought them there. So if you are watching this, thank you, because whoever you are, you kept me accountable. I wouldn't have been able to stick to it if I didn't know that I would have been perhaps letting others down, let alone letting myself down. Point four, I cannot tell you how many times my brain went, okay, we're not going to buy a hard copy, but we could get it on Kindle. I did not realise how many times I thought about not buying a book but squirreling it away in a digital format, like that doesn't count. And it bloody does. It's still it's still like physical in the sense that it's still digital inventory that I've got to manage, and I'm still bad. I'm glad I know that about myself, but it was something I didn't realise quite how acute or naughty that behaviour was of me. And my final point, number 5, is that I have saved so much time not shopping for books, whether it's out and about at the shops, popping into charity shops when I'm on the high street, or surfing online especially. And I realised I was saving so much time online scrolling, like on my phone, and it made me realise how much time I spend looking for books, especially secondhand ones, surfing, doing my research and shopping and things like that. I had so much more time in the evenings, like when I was in bed and it was normally my reading time, that's also my cozy book surfing time. Just removing that freed up so much more time to read this month, and I didn't expect that. That was the most sort of shocking aspect for me, the amount of time it freed up. I didn't realise how much my consumption of books was distracting me from the actual art of reading too. I had no idea the two played a relationship with each other. So that was my first month on my book ban. Let me know what you thought in the comments. My next video, I'm actually going to share with you my current TBR, what I'm hoping to get through in the next hopefully 5 to 6 months depending, and I'll let you know how my reading went in January and how many of the books that I read in January were actually off my TBR. So I'll give you a little reading wrap up for January too. If you have made it this far, thank you so much, and please do like, comment and subscribe because it really helps me, it really helps my channel, and happy reading to you.